Hi everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel. Friends, now this is my third lecture in the total income series under the paragraph form questions, right? Friends, if you remember what was the objective behind starting this series was that there are a lot of sums which are in T form which are already there in module and some of the author books also. So you can practice a lot of sums in the T form, which is a profit and loss account or the receipts and payments account form. But very few sums are available on paragraph form, and in the last 6 attempts, 3 times they asked you questions on the paragraph form, right? So I wanted you all to get used to this type of questions also. But friends, don't forget the second objective. The second objective was that we also want to learn some of the few new adjustments, the same concepts which you have studied in your theory, but I am trying to put up those theory questions, or you can say theory concepts, in the adjustments in such a way that you will find, oh, the question can be asked in this way also. So friends, don't forget this second objective, that in every sum you will appreciate that in the first two lectures, that is the first two sums also, I try to bring new adjustments, not new concepts, but new adjustments in the first two questions also. The same thing I'm going to do in this third question. All right, let's start everybody. Now friends, question number 1, or in fact any question, whenever you solve your question, you should always read the first and the last paragraph and find out what are you supposed to compute. So friends, in this question, net profit of Miss Simran. So friends, Miss Simran means this is a question which is on individual. So the assessee is an individual. For the year ended 31st March 2026 is arrived at rupees 4 lakh after debit of the following. See friends, in the first two questions, it was after debit or credit of the following. But now in this question, what I have done is I have kept only after debit of the following. So now this actually has become very simple for you all, that all these adjustments from A to I are debited. So now this has become more simple. But I just want you to observe the question very carefully every time you read the first and the last paragraph. Alright, so sometimes it is after debiting or crediting the following. Sometimes it is only after debiting the following, like in this question. And sometimes it may be only after crediting the following. So you have to be very aware about that. Alright. Now see, so this sum has become a comparatively simpler sum, but there are new adjustments. Okay. So now all these are debits. So all this must be expenditure side, right? So whenever you are doing after debits, what are they exactly trying to say is, so if I want to convert this entire question in T form, obviously you don't have to do this in your examination, only for explanation. When they say after the following debits, so what they are trying to say is that the net profit is 4 lakhs. So they are trying to say net profit is 4 lakhs and after debiting the following. So now all the adjustments from A to I are debited. All right. So you can also interpret and analyze your question and imagine your question in such a way when they have given after debit and credit. So after debiting means everything is on the debit side. After crediting means it is on the P&L credit side. Correct. So this same T form is converted into paragraph form. That's it. Concepts are same. The amount of knowledge which you require, that is the same. Everything is same. Your business knowledge, EFOS, house property, chapter 6, everything is same. Only the way of putting up the question is different. Okay. So now the first adjustment on the debit side, amount of 50,000 contributed to employees welfare trust. Now friend, if you remember section 36(1), amount contributed to recognized provident fund, amount contributed to approved gratuity fund, approved superannuation fund, all these approved funds are there. But there is nothing called as employees welfare trust in section 36(1). So basically what Miss Simran has done is, she has set aside some amount for employees' welfare and contributed some amount to the trust. But this is not like a current year expenditure. No amount has been spent like salary, bonus, commission. This is only an amount which is set aside. And this is not approved gratuity, approved superannuation, recognized, nothing like that. So friends, this will not be allowed as a reduction because this is not an expenditure. Amount of 10,000 on gift article distributed. Everything is debited. Everything is debited. So amount of 10,000 on the gift articles distributed to various dealers. So friends, gift given to dealers, customers, clients, all this is a business necessity. So this is normal business expenditure allowed. Expense of 11,000 on tuition fees. As soon as you hear tuition fees, oh, chapter 6A reduction, 80C. But wait, tuition fees of son of a close relative of Miss Simran. Oh, see, first of all, tuition fees of son is not connected with business, right? So this is not a business expenditure. But the tuition fees is not paid for son of Miss Simran. It is paid for the son of a close relative of Miss Simran. So friends, this is not a business expenditure, but this will not be covered in 80C also. Because over there, it is tuition fees in the name of children, but your own children, not the children of your some relatives, right? So no 80C, not a business expenditure. Amount of 1 lakh paid to a local mafia don for the excavation of inhabitants who were occupying the land to be used in business. So, sometimes your land is occupied by some illegal person and you have given 1 lakh rupees to a mafia so that you tell that person to vacate the, property. But friends, payment made to mafias, dons, hafta, commission, all these things, secret commission, all these things are illegal expenses. And illegal expenses are not allowed as a reduction. Some student will argue, sir, but the land was supposed to be used for business. No, 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 no. Even though it was supposed to be used for business, but the expenditure is illegal. You tell me giving money to mafias and dons is legal or what? No. So, you have given money to a local mafia. It is an illegal expenditure, not allowed. All right. Now, friends, next adjustment. Depreciation at the rate of 15%. What we are studying? We are studying debits. Debits. So, 4 lakh is after debiting the following. You have to, remember this. So, what is debited? Depreciation at the rate of 15% is debited for full year on purchase of plant and machinery costing of rupees 8 lakh on 21st March 2026. Friends, the rate of depreciation on plant and machinery is 15%. All right. But it is purchased on 21st of March 2026. Now, friends, what they have given is depreciation at the rate of 15% for full year is debited. Now see, this is a very unique way of asking question. The adjustment is very simple, but this is a very unique way. See friends, what they have done is they have not given the amount of depreciation which is debited. See, what they have said is depreciation was debited at 15%. They have given 15%. They have not given the amount on purchase of plant and machinery costing rupees 8 lakhs. So this 8 lakh is not depreciation amount. This 8 lakh rupees is the cost of your plant and machinery. Now see, you have to see this adjustment very well. You have to read this adjustment very well. See, what are they saying? They are saying after debiting the following. What have they debited? They have debited depreciation. How much depreciation? They have not given the amount. But what they have done is they have given information indirectly. What they have said, depreciation at the rate of 15% was debited. And it was for full year. So the full year amount was debited. Amount is hidden, but information about the amount is given. Now, first of all, when you buy something on 21st March 2026, which is after that 3rd October date, you have used the asset for less than 180 days. Or friends, you have used the asset for less than 180 days, yes or no? So, on this particular plant and machinery, there should have been only half year depreciation, but they have charged full year depreciation, which is wrong. They should not have charged full year depreciation. They should have charged only half year depreciation. So now what we are supposed to do, friends, is what we will do is first we will disallow the entire depreciation. See, we don't know the depreciation amount which was charged. So what we can do is we will do 8 lakh, which is the cost of the asset, multiply by 15%. So friends, amount is not given in the question, but obviously we are smart enough to know that 1,20,000 must have been debited to P&L, because they have said debited depreciation. How much they have not given, but they have given percentage and they have given cost of plant and machinery. So friends, they have debited 1,20,000, which is wrong. Why? Because full year depreciation is not allowed, only half year depreciation is allowed. So friends, what we can do is, what my style of solving the sum is, let us disallow this 1,20,000, treating it as depreciation as per accounts. Because see friends, whenever they give you debited to P&L, so what we generally assume is this is as per accounts, right? So what we can do is, let us disallow this 1,20,000, but then if we disallow 1,20,000, which is full year depreciation, at least half year depreciation should have been allowed, right friends? So what we can do is, we can do 60,000 as AUBE. Now friends, there are some students who have got very good mathematics. So there are some students who ask me a question that, sir, can we give net effect only, sir? Yes, of course, you can give net effect. But friends, I am teaching to all types of students, right? I am not teaching only to smart students. I am teaching to some of the students who are like me. When I was a student, I was not very, very smart. I was like above average. So I am teaching to all the type of students, average, above average, rankers. So if you feel that you are very smart and you can do the net effect, I don't mind. I give you the permission, you can do that. And absolutely in exams also you can do that, because there are many ICAI suggested answers in which they are giving only net effect. You can do that. But what I do is, while teaching, I'll always keep my way of presentation and way of you can say presenting and arriving at the answer in a fixed format. So friends, what I am doing is, the amount which is debited 1,20,000, I am assuming this is as per accounts. So as per accounts is not allowed, but at least half year depreciation should have been allowed. Now, I will also see if they have given any additional information about depreciation. See, voluntary retirement, rent received, short-term capital gain, sold residential house. So, there is no additional information. Yeah, see, we forgot one thing in this question, okay? We have not read the last line, which is wrong, which is my mistake also. You should not do that. All right, I prepared this question, so I knew what we were supposed to compute, but still I should have read it. See what is given over here: compute net taxable income for the year 25-26, assuming shifted out of default tax regime. Okay, so we are supposed to solve only as per one method. Yeah, so we were discussing something about depreciation. So no information about depreciation is given in additional information also. So friends, this was a new way of asking. I am not saying that depreciation adjustment is new. Of course not. Depreciation adjustment would be there, always there in question number 1, almost in all the question number 1. But this way of asking, not giving the depreciation amount and then purposely giving that it was purchased, after that 3rd October date and full year was charged to P&L. This is a very unique thing. So friends, 1,20,000 as per accounts would be disallowed, and this amount would be allowed but unrecorded business expense. This your professor might have used some other terminologies. That is fine. You don't have to memorize this terminology. Whatever terminology your professor has told you, you can write. We are also going to present this answer. Okay. So this is not only discussion about the question, we are also going to present it. As I do in my all my lectures, I have not written any answer. We are going to solve it together. Okay. So friends, you will find this PDF in JB Learning's Pratik Bhatt Telegram channel, right? So all the PDFs, whatever I am discussing on YouTube, everything is available in PDF form in the Telegram channel. All right, friends. So we are on the debit side of the P&L. Paragraph form sum. Income tax return filing fees. Friends, this is also interesting. See, income tax not allowed. Interest on income tax not allowed. Income tax penalties not allowed. But friends, income tax return filing fees is allowed. Income tax audit fees is allowed. Income tax consultancy fees is allowed. So friends, amount given for return filing, consultancy, audit, all this compliance related cost is allowed as a reduction. Bonus to staff of the year 24-25. ICAI's favorite, purposely giving information of some previous last prior period items, right? So, as my Professor Ribello, he always used to say that institute will either give you lack of information or excess information. See, this depreciation concept, they did not give you the depreciation amount. So this is an example of lack of information, right? Now let us see whether this bonus to staff is important. So bonus to staff of the year 24-25, 23,000 is paid in the current year. Friends, 31st December 2025 is in 25-26, correct? So bonus to staff is paid in the current year. Now friends, tell me, last year's expenditure paid in the current year, and they are saying it is debited to the P&L. Friends, why have they given this information? Last year's information, bonus to staff, debited in current year's P&L. Is this important? Yes, very important, friends. Friends, do you remember section 43B? This is ICAI's favorite section number. Friends, there are few expenses like payment made to micro small enterprise allowed only if it is paid, bonus, taxes, leave salary, amount paid to railway department for use of railway assets. Friends, these expenses are allowed as a reduction on payment basis. Friends, very interesting, huh? Bonus to staff is an expenditure which is covered in 43B. This bonus is of last year, but debited to current year's P&L. Now, this is paid in the current year. See, what is the rule? That bonus can be paid up to the due date of return filing. Now, friends, see. Very, very important. See, last year, 24-25's bonus should have been allowed in 24-25 if paid in 24-25, or if it is paid till return filing due date of 24-25. Friends, what is a return filing due date? It is 31st of July, or for some assessee it is 31st of October, or for some assessee it is 30th of November. But friends, this year's bonus is paid on 31st December 2025. It means it is not paid up to the due date of return filing of 24-25. Now, if you remember, if bonus is not paid, it is not allowed as a reduction in 24-25. Friends, not allowed in 24-25, but this is only a temporary disallowance. It is allowed as a reduction in future in the year in which it is paid. So it is paid in December 25, which is a future year. So it should be allowed in 25-26. So friends, if last year's bonus is paid in this year, and that also, after all these dates, then it is allowed in 25-26. If it is allowed in 25-26, it is already debited to the PNL. So very good, we are not supposed to do anything, then this is allowed. Then we are not supposed to do anything, because this bonus is allowed in the year in which it's paid, and it is paid in 25-26. So this expense should be allowed. So whenever the expenditure is allowed, we are doing tick, right? Securities transaction tax rupees 1500. Friends, securities transaction tax is not allowed as a deduction. Next, this is also very unique, all right? See, the next adjustment, I have kept it very unique. 1,40,000. But see how they have given 1,40,000. If you see the information which was given till now, it was given in, in a very normal way, in 11,000, 1 lakh. But now suddenly this adjustment, they are giving all amounts in lakhs. See, this can happen in your, examination, that suddenly they have changed the way of asking the question. Till now, everything was normal. If you see, these adjustments, 50,000, 10,000, 11,000, 1 lakh, 4 lakh. But now in this adjustment, everything is given in lakhs. They are saying 1,40,000 being aggregate of the amount paid in cash payment to Raja, a transport contractor. Oh my God. Friends, see, so many different twists and turns. Amount is given in lakhs suddenly to confuse you. Nothing great. We can obviously convert it easily. But, to confuse you, in between the questions, sometimes they might give you information in lakhs. Then they are saying cash payments. They are saying cash payment to a transporter. Now, normally what happens is cash payment about 10,000 are not allowed, right? But to a transporter up to 35,000 is allowed. So friends, now see, they have given date of payment, different dates. Now, if they have made payment on different dates, we are not supposed to aggregate them, because the limit of 35,000 is per day. So friends, this is 15,000 because it is given in lakhs, right? This is 21,000, this is 42,000, this is 26,000, and this is 36,000. So friends, still 35,000. So this is allowed. This is also allowed. 42,000 is not allowed. 26,000 is allowed. And again 36,000 is not allowed. Now see, this line is also very important. I have seen several times that whenever a table is given, what institute does is they give one small line or one small paragraph below the table also. This is very important. I have seen in several, several students who are giving my test series. I have seen this several times, that purposely after the table they will give you one small line. And really, believe me, I have seen many students don't even read this line in exams. See what they have given: tax was not deducted at source. Friends, see the twist and turns. Suddenly the amount are given in lakhs, payment is made in cash, it is to a transporter, some payments made on different dates, some payments below 35, some payments above 35. Now they are saying tax was not deducted at source. Friends, I have seen there are so many students who ask me a questions while solving our test series questions is, sir, do institute genuinely ask all the questions in such a deep, do we need such deep analysis? The answer is yes, friends. This is the biggest problem with all the students have, that they don't even know what amount of in-depth knowledge is required in their examinations. This is the biggest issue of the students. So a lot of in-depth questions are asked. So you have to study everything very in-depth, beta. So tax was not deducted at source, as Raja was having only 9 trucks during the year and he submitted his PAN to Simran. Simran is our assessee. Now friends, what are we supposed to do with this? Tax was not deducted at source. So, there are some students who might think Sir, if tax is not deducted at source, and if the person Raja, mostly we have to assume resident, then 30% might not be allowed. No, friends. Friends, there is one section 194C in which payment made to a contractor is covered. And in section 194C, there is one point which says if payment is made to a transporter, and if the transporter is having 10 trucks or less, and if the transporter has submitted PAN, then you are not required to deduct TDS. So, when they have said tax was not deducted at source, yeah, it's fine. Any which ways, if the person is having less than 10 trucks and he's giving you PAN, you are any which ways not required to deduct the tax. So there is no harm in that. There is nothing wrong which Miss Simran has done. So there is no need to, do that 30% not allowed in this. So you have to go and read the section 194C very well. So friends, have you understood? They are testing your cash payments. They are testing your observation skills, whether this amount has suddenly changed into lakhs. Then they are also, testing your TDS knowledge. Lots of, combination is there in this question number 1. And because of this very same reason, there are students who are not able to solve it. And that was my entire purpose, that, if you do a lot of sums with me and you understand how are you supposed to think, then, it will be very helpful for you in your examinations. Then additional information. Friends, see. So till now it was everything was debited to PNL. Now they are giving additional information, right? So in this there is nothing is debited. So now this is an independent information. Voluntary retirement compensation of 20 lakh was paid during the year as per the scheme. Now friends, if you remember, voluntary retirement compensation is allowed in 5 equal installments. So it is not fully allowed as a reduction in the very first year. So this will be allowed in 5 equal installments. So in the current year, only 4 lakh would be allowed. So you can treat 4 lakh as allowed but unrecorded. Why I am saying unrecorded? Because after debit, the following information is over after I. Now this is an additional information. Now additional information means the effect of 1, 2, 3, 4 is not given in the PNL, correct? So this is an unrecorded business expense. Now friends, rent received. Now friends, you have to become alert, because in additional information, everything might not necessarily be related to expenditure only. Now it can be related to income also, correct? So now rent received. So this is an income. So, paid, received, contributed, these are the words which you have to see in your examination. These are the flag points. So, you have to be very careful when paid, received, contributed, such words are given. So, rent received means it is an income now. 6 lakh towards renting of a commercial premises. Now, friends, this will go under income from house property. Commercial premises, house property? Yes. Because friends, nowhere in the question it is given that renting was the business of Simran. Friends, if renting is not the business of Simran, even if it is a commercial property, it will go under IFHV only. Supposingly, I am a professor, right? So my main business is coaching. But as an investment, I have purchased some commercial property and I have rented that commercial property. So will renting become my business? No. So even if rented a commercial property is given in the question, it would be IFHB only. Municipal tax in respect of the said building remains unpaid. So friends, in house property, if municipal tax is not paid, then it is not allowed as a reduction, correct? Friends, if you genuinely feel that the adjustments are really nice and you are actually getting some good help, then please like, share, subscribe. Also, you can do the commenting whether you are understanding, yes sir, no, very good question, etc, etc. Because friends, like, share, subscribe and comment, this is the only way in which I can understand whether you are actually getting help from this total income series or not. Next, let us go ahead, friends. Now only two adjustments are left and then we are going to solve it, right? Short-term capital gain. Now, friends, these two adjustments are also very nice. Short-term capital gain on sale of jewelry in India is rupees 23 lakh. Very good. Directly the amount is given in the question, so we are not required to do any computation. Wow. The entire capital gain, means this 23 lakh, was used to buy a residential house in India on 23rd July before the due date of return filing. Now, friends, the year which is applicable to us is 25-26. The due date before, now we assume that there is no audit, the due date is 31st July 2026. Now they are saying on 23rd July they have bought a residential house. Now, friends, short-term capital gain on jewelry. Now you are buying a residential house, you are using the amount to buy a residential house. Will you get any exemptions, friend? 54, 54F, 54EC, 54B, 54D. Do you think any exemptions will be available? The answer is no. Friends, if jewelry's answer was a long-term capital gain, I repeat, if it was a long-term capital gain and a residential house is bought, then we would have thought about section 54F. But in 54F, you get exemption only if the asset sold is a long-term capital asset. But friends, over here, they have said jewelry was a short-term capital gain. So again, short-term capital gain, you don't get exemption under section 54F. So friends, this entire amount which was used to buy a residential house, this will not help us to give exemption under section 54F. Please give a thumbs up. Please like if you have understood it. All right. Now, so this short-term capital gain, this will go to capital gains. So see, till now, how many heads of income are covered? Obviously, PGBP is there. Then house property is there. Now capital gain is also there. Correct. Last adjustment and then we are going to solve the sum. Miss Simran sold a residential house in India, another capital gain, on 10th of August 2025. On 10th of August 2025 for rupees 30 lakhs. Amount spent to buy the house was rupees 12 lakh in the year 2015. Now friends, this is a residential house. It is sold in the current year. It was bought in 2015. So this is long-term capital gain, right? All right. So this is also your capital gain. Now friends, I have a very special surprise, a very special, thing for you in this particular point. But purposely, I am not discussing it right now. First let me write the entire sum. Then I will discuss something very, very useful about this long-term capital gain. Very useful, but you will have to see the entire video, okay? Because this long-term capital gain has a special effect in this sum. Let us go ahead. So now we are supposed to compute net taxable income. What I have done is I have kept only the format ready. Amounts are not put. We are going to do the sum, entire sum together. So in exam also what you can do is statement of total income. Always give your headings. In bracket write the regime, whether it is 115 BAC or shifting out of 115 the BAC. Then you have to analyze the number of heads. So income from house property is there. PGBP is there, capital gain is there. So for PGBP working note 1, capital gain working note 1. Then tuition fees of close relative son, but ATC deduction will not be available because it is not for Simran's son, it is for close relative son. So we can put a dash over here and then the net taxable income. Friends, so now income from house property. So friends, if you see income from house property, what happens is if you have this format ready, in every sum, even in your exams, you can have this format ready. So that what happens is as soon as you get the information from the question, you can start, filling the information. So because, you get marks for steps also in exams. So income from house property. So now there is rent. No other information is there. So we assume this is your gross annual value. So how much is the rent? Rent is 6 lakhs. Now, whenever rent is given in the question, we should always remember 30% standard deduction. So 30% standard deduction, and then the taxable amount would be in the outer column, right? So always remember 30% standard deduction. Now friends, profit and gains from business and profession, we need a working note. So now friends, 4 lakh is the amount as per PNL. So net profit as per PNL is 4 lakh. Then what we do is add expenses which are not allowed. Now which are the expense which is not allowed? Expense which is not allowed. So friends, the first expense which is not allowed, 50,000 contributed to employees welfare trust and 11,000 as tuition fees. So employees welfare trust is rupees 50,000, and tuition fees, but this is not tuition fees for your own son. Even if it is for own son, it is not a business expenditure, but it is for some relative son, 11,000. Then amount of 1 lakh paid to a mafia. So illegal expense. If it is an illegal expense, amount paid to mafia, this is not allowed as a reduction. Then next is depreciation. Yes, this is something which is very, very important. So what they did was they debited 1,20,000. Now what you can do is immediately over here only, what you can do is depreciation as per income tax. So as per income tax, you will get only half year depreciation, which is 60,000. So they debited 1,20,000, but we get only 60,000, correct? Now the next thing is income tax return filing fees, which is allowed. Bonus to staff is also allowed. Yes, securities transaction tax. So over your securities transaction tax is not allowed. Then anything else is there in the question? Yes. Payment made to a transporter, 42 and 36. Payment made to a transporter. 42,000 and 36,000. So this is an amount which is in excess of 35,000. Friends, in exams you also have to write the reasons that since the amount is more than 35,000, it will not be allowed. Then next is voluntary retirement compensation. So allowed but unrecorded business expense, voluntary retirement compensation, only 1/5 is allowed. So the total payment is 20 lakhs, only 1/5 is allowed in 5 equal installments. Then next is rent received, house property adjustment is already done, short term capital gain. So friends, now I think everything related to business is done, right? So now short term capital gain and long term capital gain. Please wait till the end, because there is something very, very, very special about this long term capital gain. Okay. Now everything related to business is done. So what we can do is we can close our business then. Correct. So there is nothing else which is left in business. So how much is the amount? So it is 50,000 plus 11,000 plus 1 lakh plus 1,20,000 plus 1,500 plus 42,000 plus 36,000. So what is the amount? 3,60,500. Then non-business items are not there in this question. Then how much is this? This is 4,60,000. Then unrecorded business incomes are not there. So friends, what will be our final answer? The final answer would be 4 lakh plus 360,500 minus 4 lakh 60,000, which would be 3,500,000. All right, so this would be 3,500,000. So this is our taxable PGBP. So as soon as we get that answer, what we should do is we should, post it in our statement of total income. So 3,500,000. Now friends, something very, very special about capital gains. Now see friends, capital gain, short-term capital gain jewelry is already given in the question. So we are not supposed to do anything special for that. So see, short-term capital gain on jewelry, 23 lakh. 23 lakh is already given, right? So short-term capital gain 23 lakh is already given. Exemption under section 54 not available against short-term capital gain. So you cannot claim exemption under section 54F. So your taxable short-term capital gain would be 23 lakhs. So this is done. This is over. Now very special about residential house. See what they have said about residential houses, that the date of purchase was in the year 2015. So what I do always with my students is, first we write the type of capital asset, residential house. Then we write date of purchase. So friends, the date of purchase is 2015. The transfer is in 2025, 2026. So always have an habit to write this type of capital asset, date of purchase, date of transfer. Since transferred after 2 years, it is a long-term capital asset. There was a student who was asking me, can we write short forms? Ideally, no friends, you cannot write short forms in exams. So it is a long-term capital asset. Now, how much is the full value of consideration? The full value of consideration is 30 lakhs. The full value of consideration is 30 lakhs, the selling price, and the cost is 12 lakhs. So friends, the full value of consideration 30 lakhs. Transfer expense is not given in the question. So the net consideration is 30 lakhs. The cost is 12 lakhs. So friends, what we will do is we will find out long-term capital gain. This is a long-term capital gain. Now you will say, sir, this is so simple. Why you are saying that there is something very nice, very tricky, something very important? Friends, I'll tell you why this is very, very important. Friends, now against this long-term capital gain, you will claim exemption under section 54. 54? Sir, but for section 54, you have to buy another house. Yes, friends, the assessee has bought another house. See, Miss Simran sold a residential house on 10th of August for 30 lakhs. And amount spent is given in the question, right? So there would be some students who would be confused. Sir, how can you claim 54? There is no another house. Friends, if you see the information which is given in point number 3, see the information which is given in point number 3 is very, 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 very crucial over here. Friends, as a chartered accountant, what is our duty? We have to do maximum tax savings for our client, our assessee, correct? Friends, what this person did was, this person, Miss Simran, sold a jewelry and bought another residential house. Now, since jewelry was a short-term capital gain, we did not give exemption under section 54F. But friends, if you have sold a residential house in India, and in point number 3, they have given that they bought another residential house on 23rd July 2026. Friends, see, both of them are different residential house, okay? See, this one is sold on 10th August 25 and this one is purchased on 23rd July 2026. You have to understand the timing, friends. So this residential house is sold on 10th August 25. Another house is purchased on 23rd July 2026. So friends, this 23 lakh which was used to buy a second house could not be used to exempt the capital gain of jewelry, but it can definitely be used to exempt the capital gain which is a long term capital gain of a residential house. Yes or no? I repeat, friends. I repeat once again, all my students. See, this residential house which was purchased, now they are saying the 23 lakh of the jewelry was used. 23 lakh of the jewelry capital gain was used. But you could not exempt that capital gain of jewelry since it was a short term capital gain. But you know what is our purpose? Our purpose is to give maximum benefit to our client. So what we should advise to our client is, with this 23 lakh, you could not exempt your jewelry, but you can definitely exempt your residential house. Yes or no? So on 10th August 2025, this person sold a house. Now, this person bought another house on 23rd July 2026, which is before the due date. So, that capital gain account scheme concept is also not required over here. So, friends, this is something which is very important. You know, I think one or two attempts back, they did a similar thing in CA final, which is obviously related to a very different concept. But, you know, they did a similar thing in CA final, that for exempting this capital gain of point number 4, they used an investment of point number 3, and definitely it is correct only. You can definitely do that. So friends, this 23 lakh rupees would be used to exempt this residential house. So you know how you are supposed to do is, long term capital gain 18 lakhs. So amount of capital gain, which is your long term capital gain, 18 lakhs. Cost of new house. So friends, the new house has been purchased for 23 lakhs. Now there are some students who argue, sir, but this 23 lakh was earned from jewelry. That doesn't matter. The source of the funds doesn't matter in exemption. If you have bought a new house, it is not important whether you have bought this new house from your own money, or from loan money, or from borrowed money, or from some jewelry money, or you have taken money. All that doesn't matter. The source of the funds is not important, friends. What is important is you have bought a new house within the time limit. If you have bought, you will get the exemption. Then the third point is maximum 10 crores, which is the limit which is in this section 54. So you will get an exemption of 18 lakhs. So this entire 18 lakhs will get exempt. So only a short term capital gain of 23 lakh would be taxable. So short term capital gain 23 lakhs. So friends, we have 3 lakh 500 plus 4 lakh 20,000 plus 23 lakhs. So which is 30 lakh, which is 30 lakh 20,500, and this is 30 lakh 20,500. So friends, see, this was my new sum on the total income series in paragraph form. Now there are some students who are worried, sir, that we are doing a lot of sums with you in paragraph form. Sir, but I feel that in exams, my friend was saying that they will ask you a question in T form. Sir, then all this exercise which we are doing with you will get wasted now, friends. No knowledge in life is wasted. No practice is wasted. You don't have to worry about that. Friends, if you see, I am not just teaching you paragraph form sums only for the sake of solving. I am explaining you each and every adjustment also. See, this same adjustment can be asked in T form also, no? So why are you thinking that if the question is asked in T form, all this exercise will get wasted? No, it will not get wasted. See, I will be very honest with you. What I am doing is all these sums which I am, I am assembling all the different adjustments. They are all, you can say past ICAI exam adjustments only. See, all these are not ad hoc adjustments of my mind. See, I teach in CA Inter, I also teach in CA Final. So I have a lot of database available with me of the past exam questions, of the past ways in which institute has asked you some questions. So what I am doing is all my experience and all my past information and past knowledge and past database which I have with me, I am trying to combine everything and then create very good new types of adjustments for you, right? So you don't worry that if questions is asked in T form, this will get wasted. Nothing gets wasted in life. All right. You just have to work hard. And there have been some students who were saying that, sir, this series is very wonderful. Please continue with this series and, solve 2 to 3 more sums. So I'm going to try my level best to solve at least 2 to 3 more sums like this. I'll try my best, because there are some students who are asking that, sir, please upload something about GST also, then TDS is there, TCS is there, exempt incomes. So there are a lot of students who are asking different concepts, because I also have to upload content on GST as well, right? So I'm trying my best. All right, no if no but, only but. All the best everybody. Bye bye.